Round one. DJ Dance versus the obstacles of life. Fight!
Time right. It's almost time, baby. You ready?
I'm so ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Now, make sure y'all hitting the thumbs up. Make sure y'all comment and let us know where y'all tuning in from. The show Get 'Em to the Metaverse is about to start. Are y'all ready?
Yeah.
Come on, make some noise. Put some fire emojis in the comment section. It's about to be insane. It's about to be insane. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Let's go. Yeah. It's called Get 'Em to the Metaverse. You gotta get 'em.
We gotta get 'em to the Metaverse.
That's Joy. That's Joy
Hey,
over
yo,
there.
hey,
It's
yo.
me. It's me right here. You
Right
gotta
there.
get 'em to the Metaverse. You gotta get 'em to the Metaverse. Let's
Metaverse.
go.
Woo!
Hold up. Hey, hold up. Hey, listen, y'all. We excited right now. But you know what we gotta do? First of all, how you feeling, Joy Ray?
Hey, everybody. I am feeling amazing and welcome to another episode of Get 'Em to the Metaverse. Oh my gosh, y'all. We have an amazing show today and I cannot wait to get into it. But first, Jacob, how are you doing?
Well, right now I'm feeling like kind of embarrassed because my camera wasn't on when we first came on, but it is well. We are on live. We are back with the VR family, and I am feeling fantastic because I get to sit here with your lovely self. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, everybody, to Get 'Em to the Metaverse, where our mission is to help to make the extraordinary Metaverse an ordinary part of life. I'm your boy, Jay Dunn. That's your gorgeousness, Joy Rain. And we back, y'all. We feeling good, man. We feeling good right now.
It seems like it's been a while, but I mean, so much has happened.
It's been
As
so
always.
much. It's been so
we have
much.
so much to talk to.
So much to talk about, but here's the thing. We always do this check-in. So since we've been gone, what you been up to, Joy Rain? What you been up to?
You know what we've been up to. We've been working. All this VR news, we just taking it all in, trying to digest it, trying to see, what's the next wave. And it's coming so many different ways. But, social media, the new thing, Threads, it's been addictive.
Yeah, it's been absolutely crazy, actually, what Thread has been doing. So I'm really, really excited about how Threads is going to come out. You know, what kind of stuff is going to come from it. Look, and if you ain't following Jay Dunn and Joy Rain on Threads, you need to go follow us right now. What you doing? What you doing? You need to follow us right now on Threads, man. But are you ready, Joy Rain, to get into this week's breaking news? Because we got amazing guests today, but we got to go through this news first. You ready?
Absolutely. Let's go.
Awesome. Well, let's go ahead and get into this week's breaking news. Now, it's really important that y'all guys pay attention to this first one because it's about to be some mayhem. Okay, so of course, the absolute first one on the list is the showstopper. Roblox is coming to the Meta Quest platform. Are you serious? Okay, Joy, I need to know. First of all, my first question to you is, have you ever touched, played, or entered Roblox? I need to know. What you got?
I have.
Okay.
Yes, I have entered into it because, we have to make ourselves aware of these things. So, I've entered into it and it was pretty cool. But for it to come to Quest is like, wait, what? And it's not just because it's coming to Quest, it's what it brings when it's coming to Quest.
That's so good. I really think about this. So for me, I've actually, I let Joy is the Metaverse, like, to go in and enter it and check it out. And then she reports and be like, yo, I think we should be doing this and doing that. Right? So I'm like, cool. So your boy ain't never been in Roblox. I ain't never had no reason to go into Roblox. But what I will say is this: 66 million daily active users, bruh. Okay. When I saw that on the MetaQuest blog, me and Joy jaws dropped. Not only that statistic, but 15 million worlds, over 15 million worlds created in Roblox. 15 million, y'all. So even if 10% of the population of those active users get into VR for this, that is a huge boost to VR.
Absolutely.
As a whole.
Absolutely. And you have to think about it. They have the Quest 3 coming out soon.
Ooh.
And all of these children are going to be like, Mom, I got to get the Roblox machine.
Yes.
They're going to call it the Roblox machine. But yet, they're going to be requesting this Quest 3 or Quest 2. Either way it goes, they're going to want to get into it and access this game.
Yeah, so it's going to be insane. So I think people don't really, they underestimate how much this is going to be a shift. And even though this is going to be launching in App Lab on the Quest Store, it's still going to be a major shift because you got programs like Horizon Worlds, you got VR Chat, you got Rec Room. All of these are already set up processes on the Quest, but now you got this big monster coming in that's like, hey, all this free content. Kids, what I'm excited about, me and Joy talked about this a little bit. What I'm excited about is the kids are going to hopefully run a little bit more towards Roblox and maybe leave some of these other applications, and we'll have those to ourselves. Maybe some of the adults can have, a metaverse of their own. Hopefully, we'll see. We'll see. But as we move on, here's another thing we want to talk about as we continue to talk about the metaverse and we talk about the explosion in exposure of the metaverse to other types of technologies. The avatars from Meta are now enabled inside of Instagram and Facebook Messenger calling. What do you have to say about this, Joy?
It is so exciting to see how the metaverse in real life is starting to merge together.
Yeah.
And I'm absolutely loving that one day, hopefully soon, cross the fingers, that we'll be able to make phone calls from our headset.
Man, that would be absolutely incredible. I do think it's going to be coming real soon. So there was an article from Upload VR. Shout out to Upload VR for all that amazing content that they upload. They talked a little bit about that. They talked to Vishal, who is the VP of the Metaverse for Meta, and they put a question out there saying, "Hey, is this confirmed? Is this going to be coming?" And basically, the VP said, "Yes, it is something they're looking into, and confirm. Looking into could mean it could be 2 years away." I have a
but it's coming.
Yeah, I have a personal thought that I think we're going to see the Quest 3. I think we're going to see the Quest 3 launch. And
Okay.
it's gonna be one of those features that they're gonna like. They may lock it to the Quest 3, or they're gonna be like, this is a feature that's gonna be launching with the Quest 3, coming to Quest 2, Quest Pro later. I would imagine
Okay.
though, since the Quest Pro has the eye and face tracking, that it would be something they would be putting at least on the Quest Pro for sure. You know,
Yeah.
but me and Joy
Yeah.
had a ton playing with it, being the
Yeah.
different avatars that you could be on there.
Yeah, it was so cool being able to take your meta avatar and just play around with it and really have a conversation and have some fun. So I absolutely love that.
Yeah, it was really, really good. So, as we move on from this part of the breaking news, we also have a little bit of news about Google. So, Google
Okay.
has had a shift in their XR strategy recently. And not only did they
Mm.
have a shift there, they also had some pretty key system engineer faculty leave the company. In fact, Mark Luvisky, I don't want to mispronounce his name, so if you're listening, brother, forgive me if I mispronounce your name. We're just going to call him Luke. Mark Luke is a
Okay.
veteran operating systems engineer. He used to work for Microsoft back in the day. He moved over to actually Meta, which is really cool, to work on
Okay.
their XR OS, which they end up tossing later on. He didn't like the style of which way they were going, so he ended up moving
Okay.
to Google. But recently, Google made a lot of news around that they were going to kind of scrap their glasses idea and just move in, making the OS for the upcoming Samsung unannounced device that Samsung keeps announcing, but it's not announced. What do you have to say about this, Joy?
Man, listen, I am like, okay, first, it raises a couple of questions. I'm nosy. I want to know, what did he see that he didn't agree with?
Oh, that's
You
so
know,
good. That's so good.
I really want to know that for him to be so steadfast in his beliefs of saying, I am not going to go along with this. It makes you think, it's like, what did he see?
Wow, I didn't really think about that, but that is a really good point because I remember that was a point when I was reading an article that when he was at Meta, there was some things he just didn't agree with for the
Yeah.
technologies and where they were going with that, and maybe even with the Google side, maybe he saw a little bit of that too, and he was like, you know what, I don't want to go this route. I'm gonna just get out of the game. We
Yeah.
we don't know, but we do know this much that Apple is shaking things up. Even in the case of that, it may not be a true VR device, or it may only be
Hmm.
really more trying to be an augmented reality device in the VR headset model. The
Hmm.
idea that Samsung now has scrapped what they were working on to try to go after the rivalry that they've already had with Apple to try to build something similar to what Apple is already doing is pretty interesting, and we're going to have to continue to
Yeah.
look into this to see, like, get that close detective eye to see what's
Yeah, we have to
actually going to
look
be
more
going
into
on.
it.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really excited for more competition. We can't have one mainstay. I read, saw someone earlier today on Twitter said if the Pico 4 was allowed to be sold in America, it would be definitely a different market for VR. So we
Yeah,
only
that's
have
a good
one
way to
main
look at it.
headset. We have the awesome XR Elite out there, but it hasn't penetrated just yet in the mainstream. So I know they're working on those things. So we'll continue to see what's going on with that. And the last bit of news we
Awesome.
have today is Apple's headset is also off to as far as the rumors are concerned, off to a slow
Okay.
start. There was news that in order to buy this fancy, amazing new mixed reality device, you
Hmm.
will have to physically go to an Apple store, and it's sort of being reported. Get ready for this, Joy, because we might have to get tickets to
Okay.
California. Yeah, won't be able to go get this in just any Apple store. It's gonna be their main stores, like
What?
the main New York store, the California. Now, Joy is he's probably like, hey, well, we gotta go to New York. We gotta go to New York. We gotta go to California. We gotta go. But that's what is being reported that you won't be able to buy this. Like, we live in a little country area. It's a possibility that our little neck of the woods may not be a main Apple store, which means we would have to go somewhere where there's a bigger guest pool of people. What do you have to say about this, Joy?
Well, that's kind of disappointing. I mean, I'm trying to figure out why would they do that, but I understand it's going to be a rollout. They want to test the market and see. So I get that, but man, just like a hotel if we're going to stay out there,
Yeah,
unless we're doing a turnaround trip. I mean,
yeah,
it's going to be more money on top of the amount of money that we're going to pay for each of those devices.
yeah. It's gonna be crazy. I mean, imagine us now. We gotta pay 3,500 per, and that's the base model. Remember, that's the base.
Yeah, that's the base model.
We don't really
right?
do a lot of base, but let's say we get the base model, and then we got to get the ticket, the airplane ticket. Then we also got to get, man, hotel. Like you said, it's not a turnaround because you got to do 2 appointments. You got to get fitted. It's a lot. It sounds like a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I'm hoping it's just rumor. Hoping that's not really going to be the case. But hey, the price was right, so these rumors might be true. And Joy and I may just have to fly to California to go get a headset. We'll have to ask our guest when we get on if be willing to fly out to California to get this headset. I feel like he's going to have a few things to say about that Vision Pro. But let's get to the last segment before we do bring him on. This last segment is called our apps of the week, and I'm curious, Joy. I saw your apps of the week this week. I cannot wait to see why this is the app of the week for you. So your app of the week is what?
It's Path of the Warrior. Yes, you heard it. Path of the Warrior. The beat 'em up game where you just have to physically go in and just start punching and stuff like that. It's a stress reliever. And I mean, I had a blast playing that and just like,
Come on. Okay.
getting some tension out.
Get some tension out. Like, okay, look, like, all right, I love this. So, guys, if you don't know, one of our earliest VR videos from I think 2021 actually is us playing this game, Path of the Warriors. Was one of our first VR date nights we did. You gotta go back and watch it. It was so fun. We were beating up people because they were beating up the other persons. We were like, wait a minute, don't touch my baby. And we was like, it was hilarious. You guys have got to go watch. So after this though, don't leave the live to go watch.
Right.
Okay? Stay on the live first, and then you come back and watch it later. Like seriously, but Path of the Warrior, incredible game. I was just very curious as to why this was on the list today. But let's go. Okay, so we got Forever Bowl as my app of the week.
Okay.
And there's a reason for that. Me and Joy had the privilege to be a part of a cool tournament that's going on behind the scenes for Forever Bowl.
It was it.
Yeah, it was incredible, and we had so much fun. And unfortunately, I lost my last match. Unfortunately.
Aww.
But it's okay. We had a lot of fun. We got to play against Umar from I got his content. Forgive me. His YouTube channel. He has a great YouTube channel, and we also played against Skiva. Great guy from Between Realities. You all know him. So Forever Bowl was just, it refreshed my love for the application. It was just like really just fun. I forgot how fun.
Yeah, and just playing
Forever
the
Bowl
game.
was. Yeah,
just going there and just playing the game.
I love that you said that. Just playing the game, because as we get into this next segment for interviewing this person we're about to bring on, we don't really shoot content for it. It just ends up being we were in it, and we were like, oh well, while we're in here, we might as well shoot content because we have so much fun just playing in the application. And it has so many amazing features, but I am so excited to bring him on. But we got to do a proper intro, right? We gotta do this right. So
take it away.
Let me get my music right. All right. So our guest today is Javier Davalos. Okay, the founder of Overlay and the creator of Figmin XR, an AR platform creating, collecting, and playing with holograms. He's an experienced programmer, designer, and he's passionate about the augmented reality space. I want you guys to get the fire emojis in the chat. I need y'all to get excited about this amazing developer, this amazing founder, this amazing creator. We call him Javier. Javier, how you feeling today, brother?
Woo! Wow, what an intro. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man, we love having you on. Get them to the metaverse. And this is one of my favorite parts of the show, where we get to toss it over to Joy to go into the best part of the podcast, where we discuss all about you. You ready for the Javier?
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. And again, welcome to Get Them to the Metaverse. And so we're going to dive straight on in. Okay, Javier. So, how did you first get introduced to AR? And what was your first experience with augmented reality?
Oh, yeah, that's a really interesting story. It dates back a long time, I suppose. So, basically, maybe like 15 years ago, I decided, I was a game programmer, right? And so,
Okay.
like, I was like thinking, okay, how's the future going to change and what's coming? And in my mind, what's coming is AI and AR. Those are two things that are going to, be changing our lives. So I
Yes.
decided to go for the first one that popped up, when HoloLens 1 launched.
Okay.
That was my cue. I already had some money saved, so I can like quit my job and dedicate myself to research.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they started selling HoloLens One, and I applied, and you had to apply, and anyway, they accepted me, and I started working on stuff, and quit my job from the Bay Area
Mm-hmm.
and moved to Oregon. That's where I am now,
Okay.
Awesome.
and that's where it all started, really. Just playing, having fun, and like, cause the thing about me is that I don't like routine, so I
Mm-hmm.
like doing stuff differently all the time. So like, and I
Yeah.
also don't like I like when there nobody can help you, and you just have to figure out things by yourself.
That's so good.
So
Absolutely.
so that was perfect for me. AR, nobody knows anything. You gotta figure it out. So yeah. So it's been, I think that was 2016. I don't know,
Okay.
it was a long time ago. But yeah, so I was excited about AR for a long time. So then, that was my cue. I quit my job, and I started, doing my research, and I was like
Mm-hmm.
playing, making a game, and then at some point, Magic Leap, they also, jumped in, and they launched a little after HoloLens One. So
Mm-hmm.
they had this program called the uh, Independent Developer Program, right? So they were
Hmm.
giving a bunch of money to developers who wanted to, get into the space.
I like the
Mm-hmm.
sound of a bunch of money.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, so I like, oh yeah, this is it. I was really excited. So I made a video for them, and then I applied. And yeah, for some
Awesome.
reason they took me in. It was like, I think, 6,000 applications, and they
Wow.
accepted I think
Wow.
30.
So
So
wait, wait,
yeah,
wait. But we gotta pause right there. We're gonna pause right there. Wait a minute. So
mhm,
6,000 applicants you get chose out of. So how many were chose ultimately?
30.
30. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So
Wow.
Yeah, and
30.
they were companies and stuff.
Oh my
Like
goodness.
I was
So
just
this
really into
had to
that.
be one heck of a video. Was what you're saying?
Well, I guess I don't know. Like, for a long time, I'm like, did you guys make a mistake? I was like, because like they gave me a lot of money. Like that was a lot. Okay, so I'm like,
Yeah.
anyway, sure, I'm gonna make it worth it. And this is gonna be
Mm-hmm.
the work of my life. I'm gonna make sure you guys never regret it. So
Love that.
and the video I had, since I was already doing research, for about a year or so I had stuff to show. So I show them, yeah, here's what I had, and here's what I want to do. And then yeah, they took me in, and so that was the beginning of it all, really. uh, I
Love
proposed to
that.
them to make this like voxel, editor where you
Yeah.
could
Mm-hmm.
make stuff and put them in AR. And so it was humble. That was it. And that if you check Figmin nowadays, you'll see that there's like this new voxel. And like, oh, what? What do
Yeah.
you mean voxel? And it's just the origin of it, And
Yeah.
you look at the logo there. That's also voxels, the F. So
Love that.
I've always been excited about this, and I still am. I enjoy every day of my work. Because there's always a new challenge and something to solve. And so yeah, and then time went by, and you know, ups and downs, of course. At some point, the money runs out, and you freak out, and but then others come. to the eighth, right?
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. And so would you say that was the beginning of your company Overlay?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I founded the company after, they gave me the funds. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's absolutely the origin.
I absolutely love that. And
Mhm.
so, for the person who's watching who's never been or ever used the app Figmin, explain to them how could it be useful for them and explain to them what it is.
Okay. So, as I was telling you, it started as some voxel stuff. But then,
Mhm,
as time went by, I modified it. And basically, what I'm trying to do with Figmin is, awaken, within people, regular people, right?
mhm.
I don't go for the professionals.
Mm.
I am interested in like just average folk, just like whatever. I
Yeah.
consider myself one of them. I want regular people to, put this on. Oh, look at that cat making a cameo.
You wanted to be
So
on the
put it
podcast. You want to be on
on.
Give to the Metaverse.
So put it on, and like I give you so many little things to do, right? And then like
Mhm,
for example, you can depends on your skill level too and how committed you wanted to do it. Like if you just want to be casually in Figmin, you can just like search for GIFs, you drag and
mhm.
drop them, put them around your room, 3D models, YouTube videos, and like with these elements, right, multimedia elements that come off the internet, you place them around your room and you do stuff with it. You decorate your house. You know, some people like use it for marketing and for all sorts of things, right? Because it's
Yeah.
the power of creating, but for keeping it simple.
Yeah, I
So.
absolutely love that because we have dabbled into Figmin. I know I used it and I made a video about it. I had to speak at a conference, and to get over my jitters of
Mhm,
speaking at the conference, I made a mock-up conference in my office. And
mhm,
so using Figment, and I had a blast creating that. And then the second one that I did was for Abbott Elementary, which is my favorite TV show. I made
mhm,
a mock-up of that, a classroom in my office as well, celebrating the second season of the show. So I love the creativity that you can use with Figment, and your imagination could just
mhm.
run wild with it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So and besides that, we have tools for drawing. Like Tilbrush was open sourced, so I took all of that code and brought it into Figmin as an editor. Uh, you know, it really belongs. It's not like just copy paste, right? It was like probably the
Right.
hardest thing I ever done in my life. So, but now Figmin has a really awesome 3D editor. So yeah, and anyway, it's about I feel like the creative aspect, but also like in AR, right? We don't
Mhm.
know yet what is it going to be used for. What can I
Mm.
do with it? VR.
Ye-
We have a good idea of it's been longer out there, so but AR is so new, right? So like, what I would love
Yeah.
is like for people to try AR for the first time. What an
Mhm.
honor, right? Like try my app for the first time, right? And then get your own ideas. Okay, how is this relatable to my life? And
Mhm.
if you're into maybe you want to make a game or you want to make a product, how can I use these tools that I give you so that you get these ideas, right? Like uh
Right.
so yeah, that's like my a dream. It's like I couldn't be happier. I mean, that's actually happening that right now. A lot of people tell me, "Oh, it's my go-to app every time I want to introduce people to mixed reality. I show them Figment, and it's like
Yeah.
I'm really flattered because
I
it's an
love
honor,
that.
and it's an honor, and it's been such a long journey.
Mhm.
It kind of gets me emotional every time I hear that. So.
Wow,
Oh.
man. Well,
Mhm,
we gotta like Joy touched on it very big. When we found Figment, we got the Quest Pro. That's the trailer that's playing right now. When we got
mhm,
our Quest Pros, it was one of the first apps we got into. It was like we gotta look into this mixed
Yeah.
reality. We want to get used to it. We want to know what that technology is like. And we saw this, and we were blown away. Like once we like created our first scene, I think I did like a
mhm.
Dragon Ball Z scene, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I put a video out there because once again, it was every time we've created for Figment, it was never like we're gonna create a video about Figment. It was, we're having fun in Figment, we might as
Yeah,
well record, right?
Yeah.
absolutely.
And so we end up doing that, and I started seeing the potential, like you just said. Now my mind goes, what can AR be? So when I did the Dragon Ball Z thing, it was like, well, maybe this is how you'll view television in the future. Your whole room will transfer into the atmosphere of the world, and you'll have the characters around you. And like Joy was talking about with Abbott
Yeah.
Elementary, she has a world that she can watch that episode in, and it's all these cool things that, and your brain does begin to snap off. And the more deeper you get into Figment, because on the skin level of Figment, it's simple. You can pull
Mhm.
GIFs, pull from Reddit, pull from Sketchfab, pull from here. But then you can get into gravity, you can get into all these different functions, music, notes, and vibration, and all. It's a lot there.
Yeah.
It's a lot there. And so, man, I'm just thankful for your eye to see that we just needed a tool. I believe Figment is a tool almost. Figment
Mhm.
is a
Yeah.
tool to start the AR journey. And that's just
Yeah.
incredible, man. Just incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so I love what you were touching on, because it goes into the topic of my next question of how do you see the future of augmented reality evolving, and what role do you feel your company will play in shaping that future of it?
Ah. Well, yeah.
Uh oh, this
So
is the hold on.
nobody
This
really knows
I see
where
I
we'll
see
go, but
I see
I
something
think
on your
that
face right now, man.
what?
I'll say that this looks like it's gonna be the question when you said, "Oh man, you ready?"
Yeah, so I've been using AR for I don't know, many years now, every day,
Mhm.
and I still can't tell you what it's gonna be
Yeah.
particularly for, but I do now with the rise of artificial intelligence.
Mhm.
I do feel like not too long from now we're gonna have these artificial avatars, that are gonna be our assistants,
Hmm.
I
and
love
they're gonna
that.
help us in all kinds of things. And I think that at some point, they're also going to be aware of where you are, what objects are around you, so that you'll be able to ask your avatar, your AI avatar, hey, how do I do this, and point to some object, and then do that, and it'll draw on top, and it's like just like a regular person. I think that's going to be incredible, and it's going to really change a lot about how we go about our lives. Because I
Yes.
feel like people are going to develop relationships like friendship with their AIs, and
That reminds
great,
me of
that's
the
great.
yeah, it reminds me of a movie, Her, that I watched years ago, where
Yes.
the AI was basically very smart and intelligent, and had this way of conversating with the user, and eventually the person just fell in love and excited and all kind of crazy stuff in that movie. But
Mhm.
I do foresee that happening now. Even deeper on Joy's question, do you see your company? How do you see your company kind of pushing more back into what the future of AR can be?
So well, but that's perhaps not something we're gonna pursue ourselves.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know. I do want to have AI in Figmin at some point, but I'm not sure it's gonna be in an assistant form. The other
Okay.
thing that I feel AR is going to really have an impact on us as a society is, a long time ago, I was just doing my research and having fun with my glasses, and I realized that
Mhm.
AR is going to have an environmental impact that's positive for in our lives, right?
Hmm.
Mhm.
Because, you know, in our daily lives, right, we use objects
Mhm.
for entertainment, right? That all the time, and then when we're done, we dispose them, right? So then you got what pollution, microplastics, etc., right?
Yeah.
And that happens a lot. We use a lot of stuff for entertainment, right? So
Yes.
what if these things don't have to exist, right? What if we don't have to use them? We don't have to make them because they only exist within augmented reality, right?
Correct.
And that's
That's a
something
good
that
point.
it was like to me like, oh my god, this is important. right? This is
Yeah.
important. And it gave me, when I had that idea, it gave me a motive, right? Like, this is worth pursuing. So
Mm.
I shaped my product to enable you to do that and to create these objects. But
Yeah.
my real my like, if you ask me what's my real dream, right? It's
Hmm.
like people using Figment, they have the same idea I have, right? Like, because like this is not something you can just, like, I've told people, hey, yeah, AR is green, and like, what? No, but like, it's okay. Look, maybe not, but I've been using AR for so long, and this is what I believe in.
Yeah.
And if I can help, people have that idea and believe in it, because like we need to believe in it, right?
Yeah.
And then we need to embrace
Absolutely.
it. So I feel like Figment is more catered towards that other vision of what AR is going to do for us, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
I think the issue is that a lot of people don't know that this technology is available and readily available to them.
mhm,
And so I love how you're trying to get exposure to
mhm,
people for this product. I absolutely love it.
You know what was even more powerful? I saw that video. I believe y'all guys put it on your YouTube channel where you showed like the balloons, the confetti,
mhm,
things like that. That these things that we would buy from the store for a party, how in AR, once that technology becomes normal for most people, an app like Figment, you can have party favors everywhere, without the mess, without the plastic, without the waste, because you're gonna throw that
Yes.
confetti in the air and then you're gonna vacuum it up and then you're gonna throw it in the trash, and that could have saved the tree, that could have saved the all kind of energy that went into making that. So I absolutely love that AR is going to lead to a greener, healthier world.
mhm.
And I think that is something that I'm so glad that there is a company in this early stage of it, because we're so early, that's
Yeah.
looking and saying, I want to be the catalyst. I want to be a part of that. I love that so much.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And like the first time I had the thought, when I was doing my experiments, I had made, because I'm a fan of RC airplanes and that kind of stuff and remote control. So I had made RC airplanes and I was flying them in my house, right? And they were like this tiny, right? And I was
Hmm.
doing pirouettes and stuff like that. And like, I'm like, wow, this is not, because it was really realistic. I mean, I was using some fancy physics for that, aerodynamics and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And I'm like, wow, but this little AR airplane, it's not just as good as the big ones that I fly. It's better. You know why? Because you
Yeah.
cannot fly a real airplane in your house, right?
Yeah,
So this the thing is, like, AR will allow us to create these like nearly magical objects that are just completely impossible to exist in the world we live in. So that's like my little story of where the thought came.
I
So
love it.
and so
Love
and
that.
Figment XR was shaped around that idea.
Amazing.
Love that. And so let's move on to talking about Figment XR and the multiplayer feature. Let's explain, explain to the people what this means.
Oh wow! So yeah, people have been asking me for multiplayer forever, right?
Us. Us.
And
Yes.
like I didn't want to do it because it's a painful job. Though I will admit that I have built the whole app. The app was always like multiplayer enabled. Like the infrastructure was there because
Mhm.
like it's very difficult to take a single player app and then make it multiplayer. So that's the work was done, but then from that to be able to launch it into the public, that's a lot of work and a lot of issues to fix. So I didn't want to do it, partly because frankly it's so new, right? Like,
Yeah.
um, and there's not that many people that have these headsets as to, okay, now let's use them together, right?
Come on.
So that was
Yeah.
my like hesitation of why, but since Meta launched and now HTC, this like VR headsets with pass-through that make the
Hmm.
technology so much more accessible, right? Then that gave me, okay, now we have users, so okay, I'll give it to you. So I spent a few months, in the dungeon. Well, this is my dungeon. Okay, on it. And it saw the light of day a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
yeah, it's exciting. And it's also a different kind of multiplayer because there is no voice chat, there is
yeah,
no avatars. You
yes,
have to
Hmm.
be standing next to the real person next to you because
Yeah.
we'll get all of that, right? We'll get avatars and chat and everything so you can do it remotely, but
Hmm.
the magic of AR is to be in the real world
yeah,
and experiencing the same digital content together. So it's kind of a
Yeah.
statement, right? Like I could have put voice chat. I mean, that's easy. But
I love the
no,
flex.
no,
I
I
love the
want
flex.
you to go to your friend's house and have fun with him in person
Come
because
on, you
that's what AR is
Yes.
about.
wow.
It's
Ki-
about this connection in the real world, in the digital and the real mixed together, and now we can experiencing together. Because before you look a little crazy, right? Like you're
Yeah.
looking at things that don't exist. People don't know what you're doing. But now, okay, put this on, put these glasses on, and now you see what I do. And
Hmm.
so yeah. I don't know if there's any other app that is like multiplayer, but you have to be in person to do it because it kind of makes no sense, right? Like multiplayer is like remote, right? No, no, this is in person
Hmm.
multiplayer. So we're kind of peculiar app. I don't know if there's any other that are just for that, but yeah.
So yeah, I want to say this, man. Number one, shout out to you. I love the flex, and I say, yeah, I can add all that. Go to your friend house, go to your people house, put these things on, go to a conference. We had the ability to go to AWE. We got to meet you in person at
Yeah.
AWE, which was amazing. Got to meet your wife,
Mhm.
meet the team, things like that. And what was incredible is we got to see the multiplayer in action and
Yeah.
being able to see something together in the same space virtually but physically. It's something magical. Me and Joy have been doing this in Figmin where I had to come in her room. I had to put the thing, put it
Her.
on,
You had to put my headset
yeah,
on.
to see it. So this was the
Yeah.
first time when we did it the other day for 4th of July. We was like, all right, we want to get in here and do something fun. And literally, we put the placement down, we put everything in the middle, and we began to just like work. And I was like, she can see everything I'm seeing. I can hand her something that's digital.
Yeah.
She can grab it, and I'm recording. And I'm like, this is just insane to think about. And I'll be honest with you, there is no other app on, especially on the MetaQuest platform, on I think on even on XR Elite platform, really on any platform. Like you're right, that does this to this level. We did play one game that used a new meta technology. Forgot what it was called, but it was where you would the slime ball was the name of the
Oh, the
game.
slime ball. Yeah.
Yeah, where you could set a sphere. It was a certain technology they called it, and once you set it, it kind of stays there for you. And that way you could kind of sit in front of each other and play. But it also still had multiplayer online and all those good things.
Mhm.
However, this is just absolutely magical, and I need everyone who's got a Quest Pro, everyone who's got an HTC Vive, Elite, everyone who's got Hololens, Magic. Look, that's the coolest thing about this. It's on multiple devices. So shout out
Yeah.
to you for shipping a product that works the same just about on Till 5, everything. It's the one app I know you can get on every platform, just about. It's incredible.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, there's not that many users, but if I'm everywhere, everything adds up a little bit, right? So we're kind of popular app nowadays. So
Look at
it's very,
that.
and it's a privilege. It really is an honor,
Love that. And
to be in
so,
this
going on
position.
to my next question, what advice would you give someone who is an inspiring entrepreneur who's interested in starting their own AR company?
Okay. Well, I'm gonna talk about AR glasses because that's what AR is for me. I don't do phones, so whatever I'm gonna say does not apply to phones. So here's the thing, I see it a lot, right? Startups trying
Mhm.
to join the space, right? And you're a startup, right? You got investors. Investor wants you to make money, and then they fail horribly, and they do,
Yeah.
and they do, and that's it. The problem is that it's so new. It's like, is this new? It's not. your place, Mr. Startup, to be here. It's the place for indies. Indie developers
Mm,
are the ones who always trailblaze, right? Because we're not driven by making money. We're driven about with our
Yeah.
passion. And like that's what we need. That's what we need now. There's not enough. Actually, there's barely any. We need more indie developers joining augmented reality and like shape it. We
yeah.
need them to
Yeah.
shape it because like it reminds me one time the folks from Microsoft, big time, they invited me to their headquarters and we were talking about this. And I'm like, listen, you cannot buy passion
Mm,
That's
regarding
good.
startups, right? Like, and that's what we have, the indies. So, like, if you're an indie and you have a passion and you want to make an impact, because you know what we do today reverberates in the future, right? Like the things that we come up
Absolutely.
with, right? So like we are in this position in time now where you can make an impact and change history, right?
wow.
And change the
Yeah.
direction. So if there's something you don't like to happen, you want like come in, right?
Hmm.
Do come in. If you're a startup, and you are intending to make millions, it's not the time. It's not the time and sure, I mean, come in, but
So basically, what you're saying is the person who's coming in for money, you may be discouraged because it may not be there. But if you're driven by passion, you're going to keep going whether the money is there or not.
yes, exactly, and that's how it's been historically. If you think about in the past, right, like when it
Yeah.
was like PC games, right, we're talking about like Doom and all those like games that changed the course of history. Look, they were indie devs. They
Yes.
they
Yeah.
didn't call themselves that, but they were, right. And the same happened with iPhone, right? Like when iPhone first launched, it was just indies making
Yeah.
cool stuff and putting it out there, and
Yeah.
that's what's we need that. So like, I wish there were more programs like I was telling you that Magic Leap had this like independent developer program
Hmm.
to stimulate, right? Like, cause like you need money, right? Cause like this is not something that you can just like, well, maybe you can do it on your part time, but
Hmm.
ideally you do it full time, right? Because AR is hard, and it was
Yeah.
extremely hard for me because there were no like nowadays you got all these tools that the Meta SDK may offer you. You got Microsoft MRTK, XRI, and all of these things that let you build, right? When I joined, there was nothing. So you
You
have
had
to
you had to make
Wow.
the
when you play
tools.
with Figmin, every little button press, every UI, everything was made from scratch. So I needed like it took me years, just like to get the UI and the interactions come in.
Yeah.
So you need the funds. So that's the difficulty, right? Like where do the funds come from?
Yeah. That's so good.
Absolutely.
You know,
I love.
go ahead, Joy.
Oh, no, no, no. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that's it's always comes down to your passion, your reason, your why. It's the reason why we do this show. We say it
Yeah.
every podcast. When there's no ad revenue, when there's no opportunity that's knocking on our door, we still get up and do the podcast, whether it's hundreds
Mhm.
of people streaming or it's one or two watching it at the moment or anything. It's still going to always be our why that we want to get them to the metaverse. And I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
that your desire is to get people into this technology to see change. Apple. A lot of people forget they were the indies. IBM was the big machine. Apple
Mhm.
was the small peg. And
Yeah.
now they've become the big machine. And I keep telling other people that it's not going to be Apple. It's probably not going to be Meta. It's probably not going to be who's going to really revolutionize this space. It's going to be someone tinkering in their garage, like Palmer Luckey was with Oculus back in the day.
Mhm.
It's going to be someone tinkering right now, trying to build the next innovation that we're going to be seeing in the next 10 years. So, man, I just
Yeah.
love your heart around why you
Yeah.
doing what you're doing for sure.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And so we have a lot of the younger generation that tunes in and they may be inspired to do what you do. And unfortunately they may not see someone who looks like them. So how does representation, and what does representation mean to you?
Representation, as in like my being Hispanic, or in what sense?
Um, all the way around, as far as being an indie developer, as being Hispanic or any ethnicity, being in the space and securing and showing that they belong.
Oh, yeah. So I mean, to me, like, what matters in people are their hearts and their
Absolutely.
motives. Not really what they look like, or what they believe in, or what they like, or what their interest. It's so, like, this is
Yeah.
something that I really never think about, because we're people and we're all equal.
Yes.
And I never feel like, well, I don't think I feel that, like, being Hispanic makes a difference. I mean, and if it makes a difference to someone, well, then that doesn't matter to me. I just do my thing. So yeah, I don't know how to answer that question, because it's not something I really think about.
Yeah,
In my company, we're very diverse. And the people that work with us, and the people that we choose in the residency program, is like, it's not that we choose them just to be like open, and be different, be like very, it's just like they're great people. And
yeah.
I don't care what
Absolutely.
color your skin is, or where you come from, and what you like. If you're awesome, I like it.
No, we
So.
we love that. I want to answer, kind of go a little bit detail why we asked that question. We ask that to every guest, no
Mhm.
matter who they are, no matter what their background is. The reason why we ask that is because we know absolutely from the first show we did, we had someone literally in tears being like, "I'm so glad to see someone that looks like me doing this." If you
Mhm.
didn't see, for a lot of people, if they didn't see an astronaut who was their ethnicity, they wouldn't know sometimes that they could be that. Barack Obama
Oh,
becoming the
okay.
president of the United States, now that makes the next young person of color think, well, maybe that is a possibility for me because I never saw that to be. And so when me and Joy decided to do this podcast, we made sure that we would always champion diversity and inclusion. And I love
Mhm.
what you said without really even realizing. You just said, my company, who we hire, it's all diverse. It's not just
Yeah.
men, it's women, it's not just one belief or one system, it's everything. And so you
Yeah.
already are a proponent. Unfortunately, my brother, a lot of people are not. A lot of people
Mhm.
do care about the color of your skin. A lot of people do care about
Yeah.
what you believe. So what we're doing and what you're doing in as well is
Yeah.
showing that shouldn't matter, but while
Mhm.
it but
Absolutely.
while it does matter to some, we're gonna be out here saying that we are here and we are seen, and there's someone who looks just like you in this space. So come on in. It's enough room for everybody. Right,
Yes,
Joy?
so by
Absolutely,
you
yeah.
answering that question the way that you did, it goes to show you that you're doing the absolute correct thing. So I absolutely love that. And finally, the last question. The show is called Get 'em to the Metaverse. How do you get people into the Metaverse?
How do I get them to the metaverse? Well, that's interesting. Like, the metaverse. I don't know. I never understood what it means. Cause it's like, either it means everything. So, like, it's like,
Mhm.
so I will shape it like, how do we get them to XR? It's like, I
Yes,
don't
that's
know
that's
what
that's
the
what
Yes,
we that's what
metaverse
we
is.
when we say the metaverse, we're meaning metaverse technologies, VR, XR, all of that.
absolutely.
Yeah. Well, how I like to get them into the metaverse is to, like, have them have fun, right? Like you were saying,
Yeah.
you launch Figmin XR, and then all of a sudden you start having fun, and then okay, then you record your video. But, like, I feel like, if we want this technology to take off, and we get lots of people using it, and believers, and help us, move forward. Well, it needs to be fun, and it needs to be entertaining, and it needs to
Yes.
wake up a little bit of our feelings, right? And so that's how I get them to the metaverse. I like it when they have fun, uh, and
Yeah.
uh, and that's really like, because like honestly, like as a programmer, right? I find a lot of joy as a game programmer. I find a lot of joy in what I do, and that's a kind of joy that a lot of people never experience. Like the
Yeah.
experience of creating something digital that comes to life. It moves. Now you have
Mhm.
physics. And so that is something that's really fun for me. So like Figmin is like a bite-sized taste of that passion that I have. So like yeah, I
Love
want
it.
them to have fun creating and get a taste of what it's like to be a little bit of a game programmer, right? Because like when you're like designing your stuff, you were saying you design for your you, that's level design,
Yeah.
okay? So
Yeah.
and it's fun. It's fun. And then
It
when you
is
jump into
fun.
physics and you're tuning them, right? It is not for everyone, but somebody will, oh, that's fun. I can make this tennis ball, now I can turn off gravity and it's like flying all over, and I can feel like I'm in zero G. It's fun. But like, let's let people have fun, right? Wake up, their love for the technology, and after that happens, and that's something that indies, I think, are the ones that should be doing it. Then let's think about making money, right? Then let's think about getting
Right.
rich, right? But that's not that. Let's get into the metaverse with fun and
I, I,
entertainment.
Absolutely.
I love it. Well, I gotta say, if you want to get into the metaverse, you need to download Figmin XR
Mhm.
right now because it's an
Yes.
incredible app. The getting things done brand is all the way behind it. Me and Joy absolutely love this application. It keeps getting better and better.
Yeah.
And I'm excited because I know multiplayer just dropped. I'm not gonna hit you with the thing we always do where we say, "What else is coming? What else you got?" We're not gonna do that
We're
because
not
you
gonna do
just
that.
you just dropped multiplayer. We're not gonna scream on nothing. We are excited about what it's gonna look like on the Quest 3. We're really excited to see as this technology gets better. Even as other devices come out, what this can look like. But man, this has been a great, amazing show, right, Joy?
Yes, it has been phenomenal. We would like to thank Javier for dropping all
Yes.
of this knowledge and making us aware of what the
Thank you.
great things are happening at Figment. So thank you, thank you, thank you for coming on and get them to the metaverse.
Yeah. So, do you have
Thank
any
you.
last things you want to mention, Javier? You let them know how they can get in touch with you and how to connect with you.
Um, Twitter, I suppose, is the best way. So just give me a follow there, uh, and that's what I usually use the most. So yeah,
Awesome.
join us, and follow us in Figment XR, also in Twitter, and yeah, let's make this happen together.
We love it,
Love
man.
it.
We love it. Joy, what else you got to say? What else you got to say?
Well, as always, thank you so much for tuning into another episode of Get 'em to the Metaverse. We are so excited that you all are staying with us and staying connected, and we cannot wait until the next episode. What about you, Jaden?
Listen, I'm just excited to be here with you two phenomenal people. I don't use this scene too much because I don't like to show my gorgeousness, my beautifulness, right? But listen, I had such a blast hearing from one of my favorite amazing developers on here.
Yes.
Javier, thank you so much again for being on
Thank
Get Up to
you.
the Metaverse. And of course, for our amazing audience who is tuning, I go by Price. We see you in the building. We had Dames live in the building with the fire
Hey.
emojis dropping. We had IT Trey in there with more fire emojis. We really appreciate all the love. And of course, we have an amazing pull-up game after the live is over to check the replay. But listen, this has been Get 'em to the Metaverse. And we will see you, believe me, next week with another amazing, incredible show. You guys have a phenomenal night, right, Joy?
Right. Have a good night, y'all. Bye.